But this year, and this is why I'm announcing it ahead of time, is going to be called Instead of Watching the Oscars, Make a Movie. And the idea is I'm still going to make my own movie. I'm still going to live stream me making my own movie. But I want everyone who has any sort of ambition or any sort of want to do this to just dive in. And during the 3 to 4 hours of the Oscars, shoot your own 40-minute plus movie.
Dude, do you want to see a blunt trick?
A blunt trick? Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this.
Whoa. Oh my god.
That was cool, right?
Dude, I really like that.
Hey! Get your upstairs!
Tell my brother this next part. I believe in him with all my heart. I make sure I tell him every day.
I'm the most important.
Yeah. So obviously we're in like a very different situation than anyone else, seeing as I live in Ohio, you in Louisiana. So we couldn't really we couldn't really make a movie in a conventional way. We had to be creative. And so we had to make it seem like we were in the same room, which it was very obvious we weren't.
The whole movie thing it was just a way for me to have an excuse to make more stuff. So in that sense, it kind of breaks you out of the laziness where, sometimes you just have these dry streams a little bit. But yeah, it's just an excuse of, hey, this is a call to action, essentially, to make something. So whether you're doing it for this or something else, it's always something that's in the back of my mind that I want to do. So just having someone essentially push you towards it is enough for me on that.
It's obviously a very silly movie, the way it's portrayed, but it, like I said, has some underlying meaning that we intended to portray.
Right.
And I guess it's kind of expanded this like aperture of sorts, like this creative aperture, this hole that was small, but now I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm trying to be
Philosophical,
okay.
bro.
Ignore all that. So, this movie's definitely made me more inclined to make things, just because I've been exposed to the fun of it. It was a very stupid thing, like it's a very silly movie as it's portrayed, but it had some underlying deeper things in it, despite how stupid it seems. So it's inspired me. Joel's inspired me to make a movie that's inspired me. And I do my side things every now and again, like little artsy projects that I endeavor in, just because like I've experienced the thrill of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's almost like it's a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, because in one way you're like, oh, I can do this, but in the other way it's like, well, now I have the want to do this, but I don't know what the hell to do, and it's kind of like I wouldn't say a burden, but it's a dilemma to be at the very beginning, going into what now.
But that was partially exciting because we had no idea what we were doing and we pulled it off. And let me, full disclosure, let me say, by no means would I want my family to watch this movie, nor many other people. It's very, very bad, but it was fun and it's done well for what it is. In other words, it's efficacious. I mean, it produces its intended result. And that's exciting because like I saw we can do it, even though we had no idea what we were doing or where we were going.
Yeah. And I think if we interviewed a whole bunch of more people, I think we'd get a similar sentiment of, just freestyled it and, wow, look what I did. And that's kind of, 500 plus people that made movies, plus all the people that were in each other's movies.
And Joel really stresses that. He stresses that movies can be really organic if you let them be. And I thought that was kind of like, that's an exciting concept, but there's no way I'd be able to just let something happen like that. I'd have to rehearse it. That's how I've always been. I have to write it down, plan it out. But this was 90% improv, and it still worked, and it showed me that Joel was right and that you can make something if you just kind of like let at it, like don't think, just do kind of thing. So Joel Haver has a pretty big following, and so lots of people submitted movies, lots and lots of people, and he put them up for public display so I can go look and watch other people's movies that they sent to him. And so one particularly stuck out to me, Dear Diary by Guyman, who's we've recently got in contact with more because he's just a real cool guy, man. I don't know. Are we keeping that?
Essentially, most of what I do is comedy based, and I don't really take anything too seriously. So my thought process on that was, what's something that's really hard to talk about, and let's make it a little more lighthearted and still get the message out there of like, it's a serious thing and you want to take it seriously, but you don't have to be afraid to talk about it, and just make people known about it.
So, I've only seen like around probably less than 10 of the other films that were made, probably like 6 or 7. Have you seen any that have like stood out to you?
Yeah, so in general, I would say all of them I've seen are good. Like, I think you can go to any video on that playlist and you'll find something good. Because you can tell when you're watching it that a lot of the people have never made videos before.
Right.
And so even if it's their first time, and you can tell like, oh, this is extremely amateurish or something like that, and people are going really far out of their comfort zone to do this stuff. You can still see the passion that they put into it, or the want to create or do something special, kind of time capsule it a little bit. In general, like I said, all of them that I've seen have been pretty good, but there's a couple that it's the really unique ones that kind of stand out. There is Why Do You Do What You Do by Chief of Bricks, where it's essentially them going to rob a house, and they go in, and there's just a lot of different, varying shots and stuff like that, where it's hard to do that in a short amount of time. And Yours, The Life of Pig, did the exact same thing, where there's a lot of different scenes and a lot of different shots, whereas a lot of people took the route of, let's do it in a single shot or just a couple of shots, because it's easier because you don't have a lot of time. And then there was also another one. It's Red Means It Stops Recording by Baker Second Productions. I thought was just a really unique premise. So in that one, basically it's the entire movie is based around they screw up, and he thinks that red means it stopped recording and not red means it is recording. So the entire movie is based around, I missed the actual movie part of it.
It's on. Right. So
Yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah,
do
it's
like
on.
like an action
It's not recording,
thing.
right?
No.
And this is the parts that no one's ever supposed to see, and that's the whole movie. It's just a unique spin on it, I think.
I feel like that's something you would do.
I definitely would. Yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse.
Dude, I really like that. You think you can do it again?
I can do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do a different one.
Okay, yeah,
What's
yeah,
this?
sure.
I call this the launching weed.